I'm Jenni Carlson here with Gina Mizell. We're in Stillwater where Oklahoma State held its spring finale today. The Orange beating the White 17-7. Not sure that score really matters that much, Gina, but maybe it does tell us a little bit about how this scrimmage went a year ago. Over 700 yards, something crazy of offense in the spring game, which we saw in the season. The offense playing great today was really about the defense.
Yeah, and I think that's a good step for this program. You know, we heard all spring going into it that this unit was going to be more aggressive, that they were going to play more physical, just more, again, aggressive, and we did kind of see it today. Justin Gilbert had 2 interceptions after having no picks in 2012. A guy like Jimmy Bean had 2 sacks and a fumble recovery, and so the fact that they just got some conventional stops as well, too, again, I think it's a good sign, because obviously, you know, this offense is going to put up points. You know they're going to rack up yards, and Mike Gundy kind of admitted that it was a little bit vanilla today just because of the way the teams were split up and just the fact that you know, they couldn't go at a fast pace, and you're kind of playing with guys that aren't always out there at the same time. So I think that played into it, but certainly the defense showed up today.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the offense, because we can't go that long without talking about the quarterback battle, which is apparently back on. Who is going to be the starter for this team, and when are we going to know?
Well, Mike Gundy said today that they're not going to talk about the quarterbacks till after the first game. We're certainly going to keep writing about the quarterbacks until that point, and he's going to continue to be asked about the quarterbacks. But I still think Chelf is the front runner at this point. But I think it's a little bit of a different race than last year, obviously, because all 3 guys did have success, and I could see this kind of going into fall camp where they have about 20 practices before that they face Mississippi State. So I would lean more towards Chelf, but again, who knows? But you know, we'll keep asking about it, and we'll see if anybody eventually talks about it.
Well, you mentioned Mississippi State. It seems a little bit like maybe Mike Gundy's trying to keep this under wraps to keep Mississippi State guessing what exactly they're going to go up against. And maybe part of the vanilla-ness of today was that as well.
Yeah, that could have played a role into it. Again, you've got 3 kind of, you know, different styles of quarterbacks. You've got Wes Lunt, who's a pro-style type quarterback, the big arm that's kind of perfect for this air raid spread. You've got J.W. Walsh, obviously, with all that mobility and all that athleticism. And you've got Clint Chelf, who can run a little bit and's got a pretty good arm. So I think that might have played into it a little bit, that you're trying to keep your opponent guessing. And we saw a little bit of that last year of who's going to start. But yeah, August is a long way away, but obviously Mississippi State's going to start looking at film here pretty shortly. So I guess he's already kind of playing that gamesmanship type deal.
All right, lastly, going into the offseason, a lot of expectations on this team, expected to be a favorite in the Big 12 to win the whole thing. But Gina, in your mind, what's the biggest question that looms over this team right now?
This is going to sound very strange, but kicker and punter. And we kind of saw that today with Kip Smith, Bobby Stonebreaker, Michael Richenstein out there kicking and punting on certain occasions, and trying to replace Quinn Sharp, who was such an underrated weapon for this team the past 2-3 seasons. Again, Ben Grogan comes in the fall, and he's a very highly touted true freshman, and I think he's going to definitely challenge for this job. But certainly special teams, if you don't get in the end zone, you got to capitalize. And so the guy that's going to be reliable in those 2 areas, I think, is going to be big.
Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.